Seedance 2.5 is now available everywhere, and it is a super powerful video generation model. In this video, I'm going to walk you through using its ability to make 30-second generations, because with good reference images, you can create great montage scenes to pull individual shots from to make a longer piece. Even though Seedance 2.5 does 30-second generations, don't expect to be able to one-shot a perfect piece each and every time. Instead, save time, money, and frustration by generating multiple montages that you can then cut from in the editing room to get the perfect scene. I'm going to use Seedance 2.5 on the Venice platform in this video. We're going to use the Venice Studio to make our reference images, generate our shots, and then piece it together. Let's get started. We're going to start off in the Venice Studio. We're going to create our reference images. These will span from characters to locations to even objects or artifacts that repeatedly show on screen. So here I've generated the driver, who will be our protagonist. Here's the road. I'm not stoked on this curl, so I'll regenerate that one. Here we have our battered muscle car. It might be a little too battered, but I think that'll actually be a cool look in the film, so let's keep it. And this is a style reference. This is what we'll use to just say, hey, Seedance, follow this vibe, this style, this contrast, this color grade. There we go. That's a bit better. Here is our 2-lane blacktop. So now that we have what we like, I'll take this, I'll click edit, and now I'm going to use Nano Banana 2, which does a great job. And we're going to edit this image to make a full body character reference sheet. There she is. Now I'll do that with our road, and I'm going to change this one to widescreen because that's what it's going to look like on the camera. Beautiful. And now we'll take our coupe. We'll bring this over to a landscape shot so we can see the car properly. Okay, so we had a little glitch here, product information, but the car looks good. Remember, anytime one of your reference images looks off, just come here to the edit tab of the studio and submit your changes. As the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. With AI, a good reference image is worth 1,000 words in your prompt, at least. There we go, we got our image. Okay, so now we'll head over to the video tab and we'll start generating. I have Seedance 2.5 R2V selected, and now it's time to prompt our trailer. I'm going to click the plus to add from assets our reference image. First we want our character. I'll actually add both the full body and the close-up. I'll add the muscle car. I'll add the road. I'll change the aspect ratio to 21:9 and go all the way to 30 seconds. Now, we may or may not get a proper one-shot here. I'm not expecting to get a one-shot. The plan here is to generate multiple versions of the same prompt and then stitch together the best shots inside that generation later in an editor. That's where we'll put music and polish it up. Now, there's one more reference missing, and that's going to go along with a style token that I'm going to paste at the bottom of every shot. I'll even add some line breaks here. We're going to put this on every generation we make to make sure that it all follows the same style. Now, what can also go with that? We generated our style token reference image right there. We'll say style reference image 5, shot on anamorphic 35mm, etc., etc. Now it's time to put in my full prompt. Ignition and run. We're naming the shot here. The driver wakes the coupe and takes off down the canyon highway. A 30-second fast cut montage. Cut it yourself in the edit. So we're giving permission to Seedance here to just do the cuts and figure it out on its own, essentially. Load it with extra angles and alternate takes on the transitions. This is important because, once again, we're going to edit this later, probably, unless it does an amazing job, but I'm not assuming it will. As amazing as Seedance is, these one-shots are very tricky. Next, we go into the references. So image 1 and image 2, as we see up here, image 1 and image 2, that's the driver. Image 4 is the canyon. Image 3 is the car. And then we have a description of our character. Wardrobe is locked. In this shot, she is coiled and focused. The jaw sets. The glove knuckles tighten on the wheel. Her breath is held. The setting is image 4, the Canyon Highway at golden hour. Our camera is anamorphic 35 millimeters. Alternate extreme wide establishing frames with macro inserts. Slow push-ins that snap to fast handheld tracking. So you can start to imagine where this is going. Now we're going to see the sequence of events for each shot. Now, of course, I used AI to generate this sequence and this entire prompt once it knew what I wanted to create. You don't have to include a sequence. You can just see what happens. In fact, I'm going to shoot off 2 versions of this prompt, one with the sequence and one without, and we'll compare the difference. Both of them and every shot we generate today will use the style token at the end, reference image 5. So now I'm shooting this off. I'll paste the prompt back in and I'll remove the sequence. And once again, it more or less knows what we want here, but we're not going to constrain it with a sequence in this version. So let's see what happens at our second generation. So next up, we have our second montage to generate. This is the chase and the jump. In this shot, the muscle car is basically going to jump over a ridge, mega action style. It's probably going to be really cool. Our driver is going to have her teeth bared, both hands squeezed white on the wheel, shoulders driving forward. We've got our sequence of shots here. And once again, we'll generate all of this once with the sequence and one without. Finally, our style token at the end. And finally, we have our third montage generation, the hero's stand. And it looks like we got our first shot over here. We'll watch that in just a minute. But our final shot here, the hero's stand. The coupe skids to a stop after jumping a huge ridge. This may or may not show up in the actual generation, but it needs to know what happened. So we can see the dust settling as she steps out and drops her goggles. So we'll copy that. We've got a sequence, of course, but we're going to try it without the sequence as well. So this is what's great about the studio. As these videos are in the queue, we can start seeing how good of a job the generations did. So let's take a look. Hang on. Look at the reference. Look at that cracked windshield. Look at that. The color. And it ends on this slow, like, okay, what's next? 27 to 30 seconds. Hard cut to a held still. The coupe frozen mid-frame in a burst of backlit dusk. Okay, that is perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen such a perfect video generation. Okay, that's with the sequence. Let's watch it without the sequence. And actually, before we watch this, I also want to remind you, we said no music and no text. So all of these generations will have no music, so it's easier to edit together later. Only sound effects. Reference image. So good. Now I like this one more so far because she did the U-turn in the beginning of the other one, and wow, that was so good. Yeah, in this one I would probably cut this. She gets going and then like does, I mean, it's cool, definitely cool. And look, we see the battered car. They're both really good. So let's keep going to shot 2 now. The second montage, she had stopped. A little bit of a glitch here because we shouldn't be seeing the ridge yet. I mean, yeah. Easy to cut. Okay, I mean, needs a little bit of work, but still like incredibly good, right? So that one was without the sequence actually, so maybe the sequence will help us here. So now here we go, this is the one with the sequence, and we're gonna have to use a cut from the last one because this video is starting with with this, she should be stopped. Maybe. That is way better. And then we got the dust. Yeah. Okay. This was really good, but it needs work. So I'm going to reload this into here and I'm going to copy all of it. And I'm literally just going to open up a new tab. I'm not going to leave here at all the studio because everything is how I want it. But here in the agentic chat, I'm going to paste the prompt. And at the beginning, I'm going to say, this video prompt is generating well, but I want the ridge jump to be way more epic, like crossing a huge chasm in the air, right? Also, the shot before this one was hard cut to a held still, the coupe frozen mid-frame, and a burst of backlit dust. So hopefully we'll get some continuity there now. Fix the prompt accordingly, but keep all structure, reference, image tags the exact same. So now we're going to use AI to enhance our prompt that we will then give AI to make it into a video. What a time to be alive, my friends. And there we go. So now we got the fixed prompt. We'll copy that and delete that, paste it. And all of our other prompts, all of our tags, everything is the same. We just got a new sequence. Shoot that off. And I'm not going to delete any of these. Just because it wasn't a perfect one shot does not mean we delete it. That is the lesson in this video, is that when we make these long 30-second montages, it gives us opportunities later to get creative in the editing room. And I would even say, as someone that's edited videos a long time, it makes it really fun. So if you're planning to use Seedance 2.5 to one-shot a bunch of stuff, I would recommend getting that out of your head because you probably won't get the results you seek. And also it's probably going to be more fun to play around with all your different generations. So here's the first version of our final montage shot. And this is the no sequence version. So she lands. Really dramatic. All right. I think we're going to be grateful for the sequence in this next one. Here's the sequence. I like the dust. I like that cut. Yeah, well, the sequence is great here. Amazing adherence to the reference images, huh? Oh, look at that. Oh. That is beautiful. So, we have our shot here for sure. Well, I don't even think we're going to need to edit this. And then something will happen here at the end. But we're still waiting on that regeneration of the second shot, which as we've seen needs a few more minutes. Okay, so here it is, our fixed ridge jump shot. Uh-oh.
Flat down!
All right, this just hallucinated.
Transmission clocks home. Flat down!
We have something to work with here. I'm probably going to try to generate a couple more variations of this particular shot. Look how the road just bounces. But we have something to get started. Okay, so next is where we come into the Venice Studio Movie Editor here. And over here in the library, we're going to see all of our shots. And we can start dragging them onto the timeline. So for example, this is the first shot, 2 takes, right? So we take a look. I'll skim through. I like that shot. I think this version, she does this whole U-turn thing in the beginning. But I do like that shot, and I like that shot, and I like that shot, and I like that shot too, actually. So it's going to cut to there, right? And I'll click this little cut icon, delete that. And I don't think it'll be terribly smooth this way, but it might be. So let's watch it. We got a little dramatic opener. A little too long, right? So we'll just cut that like that. Now, should she have her glasses there? No, they're on her head. It's okay. We want to make sure continuity stays clean. The engine starts. She zooms off. That shot's a little long. And honestly, right here is probably where we can cut to these other shots. And this is what I'm going to do for the whole video. I'm going to take all the different generations, the different takes, and just cut them together. That's perfect. Till we get the scene. Okay, we don't want that because she suddenly has her glasses on. So we'll cut that here. We'll go right to the gear shift. And even here, we could probably cut a few seconds there. And then we get that pause. So that's it. That's the simple process of just taking the different cuts and putting them together. We got lucky in this first generation. It's probably going to take a little more work in the other two shots. I'm going to stitch those all together and we're going to have our final product. All right, so I'm done with the edit now. Let's take a look. If you watch it closely, you'll notice all the different cuts I made between the different generations and the montages they provided us. So I hope this has shown you how the sky is the limit with Seedance 2.5. Just be sensible about your long 30-second generations. Don't expect to get one-shot perfection. Instead, take advantage of good reference images and great consistency within Seedance to put together your final piece. Happy creating out there. Don't forget to check out the Lumara Film Festival because, hey, Seedance 2.5 might help you make the perfect submission. Enjoy.